Ladies and gentlemen of the James Bond community, I present to you this case. Age Under Fire, Nightfire, Everything or Nothing, From Russia with Love, absolute amazing James Bond video games. Let's go to the next generation. Quantum of Solace, Bloodstone, Goldeneye Reloaded, and yes, even 007 Legends. Ladies and gentlemen, why have we not had either HD remasters of some of these most amazing games and parts of Bond history or new digital releases? And that's the subject of today's video, and we're going to start looking into that right now. So this year, in 2023, we got a re-release of what's considered the definitive James Bond video game, which is Goldeneye N64. Now, I myself haven't played it because I don't have a Nintendo Switch or an Xbox, but I did remember playing a lot of it on the N64 as a kid, and it was truly an amazing game. And since then, we've had a massive push of new video games ever since then, from EA Games, from Activision, but in 2012, it all just stopped. So movies were without a doubt my opening and my introduction to the world of James Bond, but right next door to it is video games. I remember playing games like Goldeneye N64 as a kid, and then when I got a PS2, Age Under Fire, Nightfire, Rogue Agent, Everything or Nothing, and From Russia with Love, and then on the PlayStation 3 you had Quantum of Solace and Bloodstone and Goldeneye Reloaded, and yes, even 007 Legends, and after that it's basically been nothing. I think one of the big reasons that the Brosnan era was so successful, and again, my era to be fair, is because in between movies we got this great span of amazing Bond video games to back them up. And I'm not even counting yet in this conversation Tomorrow Never Dies, All the World's Not Enough. When the franchise was a bit of a hiatus in between the transition between Brosnan and Daniel Craig, it was the video games that kept the series alive in the minds of young people's hearts and got us still excited and let us carry on the adventures off screen with our favourite character, James Bond. And also on that note, some of these games were just absolutely incredible. People still to this day talk about how amazing Nightfire was, how amazing Everything or Nothing or From Russia with Love was. People still talk about how the Quantum of Solace video game was probably better than the film Quantum of Solace. My question is, why have we not had HD remasters or new digital releases of these video games? I feel this is an absolutely important part of Bond history, and I wanted to give to you all my reasons why I really want to see some 007 video game remasters. But before we get into that, everyone, can I ask already, if you haven't, do give us a like, comment and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to reach 11,000 subscribers before the end of the year, so if you can help us, that would be absolutely amazing. Without further ado, let me get into, I think, one of the first main reasons why I think it's so important we get these games remastered. So for me, one of the most crucial reasons for remastering 007 video games is to preserve actually gaming history. Just like the classic movies and the books, the video games are an integral part of our cultural heritage when it comes to James Bond. By remastering these games in the newest high definition, we ensure that future generations can experience the iconic missions, the thrilling espionage sequences in these video games, and unforgettable characters that have defined a James Bond gaming legacy. There is, for me, so much amazing James Bond content that is just being left to the dust fields and ancient history graveyard by not releasing these games in new HD formats. Certainly the PS2 EA Games era, believe it or not, a time when EA really did dish out these amazing games. It was a real thing, and those were some of the best James Bond games ever. A lot of people, including myself, go back to Nightfire as being one of the ultimate times in their life. For me, Everything or Nothing From Russia with Love were some of the most greatest video games I've ever played in my life, and I am right, I feel, that this is being lost. As I mentioned, when you don't remaster these and you just let them be forgotten, people of a new generation are missing out on a whole side of the James Bond franchise that we got access to, and it feels so lucky now, which helped us build the imagination and help expand the world of James Bond just beyond the normal movies and books, and gave a new introduction and a new way into James Bond. So if you really want the Bond franchise to continue, in my opinion, you've got to give people the video game side as well. So following on from that, I really want to say that I have truly fond memories of playing James Bond video games in my childhood and teenage years. The thought of reliving those exhilarating moments in stunning high definition graphics is undoubtedly just so exciting to me. HD remasters allow us to revisit the familiar world of James Bond, rekindling nostalgia and letting us experience the games in a whole new light. It's a chance to bond, yes pun intended, with both the past and the iconic franchise that shaped popular cultures for decades. I still to this day have a PS2 and a PS3, so I can still play my old PlayStation video games of James Bond, and I think it'd be so great if I could have an HD remaster, say of Agent of Fire, which I could play it on my PS5. So that would just be absolutely incredible. And Nightfire, to play the multiplayer of Nightfire again would be so incredible. I've said this many times on the channel, but with me, I think Nightfire was one of the greatest multiplayers of all time, literally beating any COD game that you'd like to care to mention. It was amazing. This one game I used to play with like my brother and his friends and my friends was this map called Skyline, where you got these rocket launchers which you could control the rockets, and we used to literally like find places to hide in the map and then launch the rockets and then just try and find each other and kill each other with the rockets. It was absolutely a blast, as well as traditional team deathmatch and capture the flag. It was just an amazing moment, and this is being missed. And if you could bring these back, bring that nostalgia back, it would just help the Bond franchise so much. While the original 007 video games were groundbreaking in their true technological advancements for the time, having the possibility of HD remasters open up a whole new area of possibilities for immersive gameplay. HD remasters can enhance the gameplay experience by introducing improved controls, refined mechanics, and optimizing performance. Imagine seamlessly infiltrating enemy hideouts, engaging in intense gunfights, and unraveling complex plots with smooth and responsive controls. The remastered version can elevate the gameplay to match modern standards, ensuring the thrill of us Bond fans being truly realised. There's no doubt about it that video game controls are much better now than what they ever used to be, and if you could take games like Nightfire and Agent of Fire, and even Goldeneye Rogue Agent, the first player shooter ones, and just give them more modern day controls of it and the reaction responses, it will just truly elevate it to something absolutely incredible. When I go back and play it on PS2, I will admit it does feel a bit clunky. Even when I'm playing like the third person games, it sometimes feels a bit clunky. But if you give these HD remasters a go and you allow the more modern day controls and styles to go in, oh my god, these games, sincerely, I really feel would be improved so much. The James Bond franchise has attracted millions of fans worldwide, and remastering these 007 video games in high definition could introduce them to a timeless classic form to a whole new generation of gamers. By making these titles accessible on current gaming platforms, we can introduce younger players to the iconic world of James Bond, creating a bridge between generations and expanding the fan base. I just really want to end this video with, I'm not gonna lie, it's a full-blown hardcore plea. I am begging, literally begging right now, if anyone knows anyone at Eon Productions, if anyone knows anyone at EA Games, I don't know who controls the rights to these James Bond video games, but listen, from a Bond fan who grew up in the 90s, who adored playing all of these video games and still loves playing them again and again and again, listen to me, I am begging you. You've had great success with the Goldeneye N64 re-release on Nintendo Switch and Xbox. Please, please don't let it stop there. Please re-release more of these amazing parts of the James Bond history. Video games that fans adore and we desperately want to play again with new improved graphics and controls. And even bringing these multiplayers potentially to the online space. It would just be incredible. You are sitting, Eon, on a massive cash goldmine. If you re-release these Bond games, you will get rewarded for it. Fans will go crazy. I will go crazy. So let me finish by saying here again, anyone can hear this out there, and please share this video about. Please, if you can, just re-release these James Bond video games, because us Bond fans, it's what we really, really want. We want new Bond games and we want these HD remasters of these games available to play again. It would just mean the world to us. I'm the Bond Geek. Goodbye.